Welcome to your inspirational astrology horoscope for Friday, January 24th, 2020. I'm astrologer Dave Palmer, the Leo King, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Well, tonight is spiritual dance music. You know why? Because it is the new moon in Aquarius and, of course, the Chinese New Year, the rat. So we're going to have an awesome celebration. We'll be live streaming it, but more importantly, we're doing a live, awesome show here at the High Vibe TV studios. Tickets are available still, so if you are in the LA Orange County area, you want to come into the studio, we got tickets available, 20 bucks. Go to highvibe.tv, click on SDM tickets, and my awesome lecture, The Era of Providence, my individual part of the lecture from that New Year's Eve night is available now with a preview that you can watch. If you want to know more than just about the 2020 and the astrology of it, but building the story, bringing the history, and showing you some of my deepest research I've been literally doing for the last decade on this subject matter and this point. It's an amazing lecture. You can purchase it now on highvibe.tv and watch it on any of our apps by just going to the paid video section on highvibe.tv, the website. Then, once you get it, log in on the app and watch it or stream it on Apple TV, however that you're going to do it. But before we take a look at all the planets, let's take a look at the Leo King's planet energy meter to understand where all the energy is for your Friday, Chinese New Year, the rat, new moon in Aquarius. And I'm sending you lots of great energy. I am sending you lots of love and light. I'm hoping that you have an awesome, amazing, and spectacular, wonderful new moon in Aquarius, Chinese New Year. And of course, I'm putting that energy meter, where do you think, at the extreme position? Boo! We just got after this dark moon over Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn. Over these last couple days, building up to this new moon cycle, and just even if you take, this is the complete reset cycle in the Chinese New Year system as we come into the metal rat, but we're coming into the rat, and we just ended the pig cycle, and the pig cycle is not bad. I mean, I'm a rat, so of course, I'm more ratish, but you know what? The pig cycle, I think at the very end, we do feel somewhat lost, somewhat tired, somewhat, you know, kind of like rolling in our own mud. So this is a breath of fresh air, but there's some stipulations to that. Number one, this new moon in Aquarius happening at 4 degrees, and this is going to be in square to Uranus. Even though we had the sun square Uranus over the last couple days while the dark moon came into Capricorn, these have been some tough last couple days. And so this new moon is about liberation. It's about the liberation, though, to face what are the conflicts in your life that you need to face about advancing yourself into a better life. Definitely dealing with people, and a lot of people outside of just the personal relationship arena, because the sun in Aquarius and the moon in Aquarius, and this new moon cycle, of course, that's the house that deals with all the general public, the people, and well, depends. I always say the 11th house deals with friends, and it deals with, you know, just people that you meet at the store, stuff like that. Public persona is much more 10th house. But you know, there is something to say with the dark moon there and all that stuff. There is so much that's been going on about just people in general and people feeling freaked out about the world, right? People being freaked out about where communities are at. I'm going to be honest with you. I cannot believe how many people are tripping out about communities when I'm like looking at the astrology like, okay, it's the sun square Uranus on a dark moon in Capricorn. Of course there's going to be people freaking out about communities. And this is where we have to learn to band together and find an energy of connection. But that's not going to be easy. Uranus is in Taurus, right? It's a very fixed energy. Taurus, it's the most fixed earth sign. And so this is definitely bringing up a lot about the changes that you need to make in areas that you're inflexible about. And how are we all going to get our own unique values in a place that come together? So this is like trying to put puzzle pieces together that are not linking up the right way, and we can't force them. We got to take a little bit more time and find the pieces and see how they all do come together in life. But Mars in Sag, all fired up, is starting to make those squares over to Venus and Neptune right now. So as Venus is coming up towards Neptune, and here comes Mars square Neptune and Mars to square Venus. This is putting a lot of tension on our actions we're taking in our life to come into a full reflection of our subconscious energies that are not going in the right direction, and especially our past. So overall and in general, this new moon energy, even though it's trying to connect everything pretty much in the world and find the best solutions for our life and to help us move forward, there is this pressure on Mars and Venus, the masculine and the feminine, and this Venus is exalted, right? It's in Pisces. It's with Neptune that's in its dignified energy of Pisces, which is deeply embedded in the past, but also deeply embedded in looking at this, well, I guess you could say it's a future, but it's much more of the beautiful imagery, the imagination of how we want life to go. But with Mars there, it's like, I gotta take some sort of understanding, or I need to hear some sort of positive news, or I need to understand where it's going, and that's hard right now. Mercury is in Aquarius, and it's been making some nice sextiles to Mars, and it's starting to build up here on this new moon as well. So we have to be very clear, we have to take action, and we have to communicate, but we have to do that from positive places. Aquarius and Sag deal with positive energy. This is not about getting all crazy negative, or bringing up crazy stuff, but being diplomatic, especially now that Pluto today has left shadow. So Pluto at 23 degrees has passed the 23 and 9 minute spot, okay? So now Pluto's out of shadow. This is a major transformational day. When you get a new moon in Aquarius, you get a Chinese New Year, and this is the rat now. The rat is way different than the pig. The pig finished last, the rat finished first. This is a bunch of Capricorn, and Saturn's out of shadow, and Pluto's out of shadow, and they are moving forward, and they've already made their conjunction on January 12th. Ironically enough, too, just here during this dark moon phase, Saturn has literally come into Capricorn in sidereal astrology. So now we're fully in Capricorn in all systems. We're in Capricorn with Saturn in Helio, meaning from looking at the sun's point of view and the planets around it. There's no retrogrades there. From geotropical, Saturn in Capricorn, and now geo and sidereal, Saturn in Capricorn. And all while that dark moon was going on, it doesn't matter what system you want to use, there was a dark moon. So this is a time of major release and decisions about your future. And they're not going to come easy. And especially now as the rat, you have to think smart, you have to use your mind, you have to use your intellect, and you have to use, unfortunately, people really, and I'm a rat, so I might trigger a lot of people. I trigger people all the time. But, rats think really smart. And they are action-oriented animals. They go for what they want to go towards. And they think about it, and they see it, and they seize on those opportunities. They just don't sit around and contemplate all day like the pig did. But you get a lot of spirituality out of the pig. So I can't put the pigs down, you know what I mean? You can't put any zodiac sign down in any system. But there's their positives and negatives. The negatives with rat now is, it could come across kind of colder, right? Like it's more calculative. It's much more, all right, like how am I going to get there? How am I going to win the race? How am I going to make this happen? It's much more politician-y. It's much more salesman-like. But that's what we're stepping into now. And that's why in Chinese astrology, lots of people in China really want their kids as rats, dragons, and monkeys, okay? Because these are the action-oriented signs in the Chinese zodiac. And this is a positive time. But I think that this is a time where we have to all really be smart and get out of this pig energy and move into the life and the future that we want to. Now, with Venus and Neptune, and with Mars in play, man, this one is bringing up some crazy stories with our projects and our relationship aspects that we are having to make while we're making these big decisions, some major pressuristic, having to confront these situations. And it's hard because the sensitivity of Venus in Pisces with Neptune is ultra sensitive. So these are ultra sensitive issues that are coming up that we are having to. Mars in Sag is just going to blow these things out of proportions in many ways and force you into vulnerability and force you into, the truth and force you into your true essence of your soul. Like, are you going to do this in your life or are you going to go backwards? And there's one thing I want to say about this new moon that's very, very important. Do not go backwards. Because this is a time where Uranus, all the planets are direct, by the way, and this is a new moon cycle that you want to use correctly. It's a Chinese New Year. It's a new moon in Aquarius. It's got Mars square Venus. It's got Saturn and Pluto out of shadow. And they're both not in shadow. Mars is not in shadow. Mercury's coming into shadow in about a week and a day or so. Right when we come into February, Mercury goes shadow. So this is the time to seize the life, the opportunities of the future in your life. And I know it might feel like I need more time or I need to process. I want to maybe go backwards. I'm uncomfortable moving. It's a north node in Cancer. And guess where the moon's at? Aquarius. So that dispositor is with a new moon. And it's about trying radical things. We are all little laboratory, crazy, wild experimentation people right now. Like, let's just, But as long as it's moving forward and trying something different and new and in a place, in a vulnerable place to expose and be your true, full soul. Instead of hiding your soul. Instead of doing things that is not in alignment with your soul anymore. You've got to press this one forward. And that's why I'm saying it's so important to know that this is a time to seize these opportunities powerfully. And not to, oh, you know what, I'm going to hold off. There's too much energy forcing you. You've got to take choices because we come into so much shadow soon. And so these are all the planets direct. Sure, Uranus is in shadow. So is Neptune. So at least the outer planet energies are in shadow. But none of the inner planets are. So this is a very powerful moment because when it comes to seizing the opportunity of the year, this is it. The reason why? Because coming up on the next lunation cycles, plus we just with this new moon, I even forgot to mention, it ends the eclipse cycle that we just went through. We just went through, the last new moon was a solar eclipse on Christmas, and then the lunar eclipse 2 weeks ago in Cancer. That was with an opposition to Saturn and Pluto that was just a day and a half away to meet. For the first time with Jupiter in the same sign, literally since the 1280s. So this is the time because forward now from here, Mercury retrograde, as you watch Venus start to come, Venus in Aries with Chiron, and then it's coming into Taurus, and then it's coming into shadow into Gemini, because we're going to have a Venus retrograde here in May. We got the North Node leaving Cancer and coming into Gemini May 5th. So then if you follow, we got Mars coming into Capricorn with Saturn in the South Node and Jupiter and Saturn Pluto before Saturn comes into Aquarius. Woo! While Venus is going to be squaring the nodes with a Mercury coming retrograde. I mean, I'm telling you folks, this is it. This is the stuff you want to do because you want to make these big choices. You want to make these big leaps. Because coming up, it's how you're going to deal with those and how you're going to build from those instead of coming into this place of, well, I don't know, because when we come forward, there's going to be a lot more of where you either have the things to focus on or you don't. And then you're now feeling lost. And then you want to bug out when Saturn comes into Aquarius, but then you're going to go bug out and be like, I'm just quitting all these things and I'm stressed. Oh, that was too much Capricorn. I'm free now. And then what does Saturn do? Retrogrades back. And then we deal with it again in Capricorn. So I don't want people to go bug out their lives because they chose at this point to be too afraid to deal with confrontation. Confrontation of a better life, confrontation to bring you into better things, confrontation to open yourself up to the vulnerability of a beautiful, magical world and adventure. That is all fear-based if you are choosing not to go into it and stay comfortable in things that you know you don't want to do because that's the ultimate trap. Card of the day. Wow, 6 of Pentacles. I've been getting this card so much. I'm actually using the Gaia Tarot deck. Where it's like, I forgot, Gaia, but it's 6 of Pentacles. It's upright. We can do so many good things for the world and so do so many good things for our life. But we've got to put ourselves in a position to where we can give the great offerings. We can't give great offerings to life, to God, to the world, to others, unless we know how to do that for ourselves. And that's what this is at this moment. And if we can all do that, that's how we're going to find a way to get along better and to connect better more in our lives. So this is a very intense moment. It's a very intense time, but it's beautiful. And it's trying to connect us all together. It's trying to connect your true, authentic, and vulnerable, powerful self that you are. To come into the electricity, to be smart with it, and to have the courage to move forward into it. Because I will be honest with you folks, February into March does not look as clear or fun. Mercury retrograde in Pisces, Venus in Aries with Chiron, squaring Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, blah, 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 blah. Mars coming into Capricorn with the South Node, with Saturn, with Pluto, Jupiter. This is a lot. But remember that Jupiter at 12 degrees is making a nice sextile to Venus, so you've got to believe into the magical story, and you have to think about your long-term goals and destinies and the path that you want to open these beautiful gifts that the two benefics are connecting with at this time. You have a major door opening. Do not waste this in your life to continue to fall down when you can rise up and take. The way I always look at Uranus energy is the stairway to heaven. Thank you so much for all your support. Truly appreciate it. We'll see you for spiritual dance music tonight. Hope to make sure that you catch that awesome video that I did about 2020 and beyond, the era of Providence. And you'll know when you watch that video why that this is the era of Providence. Are you ready for Providence now? If any time than ever, it would be on this day. Love you all very much. I'll see you in the weekend report if you're on highvibe.tv. And make sure that you subscribe to get videos like this every day and my sun sign weekly horoscopes. And I don't know, I do over 20 videos a week on the app. Check it out. Love y'all.